Hey-ho! Let's go. Welcome back to our show this evening. As we discuss the importance of working the waiver wire early in the year, we've started week 3 with a painful discovery that, believe it or not, despite our best draft day efforts, our teams are not perfect. But before we get to that and our who's hot and who's not, go get and cut segments, we begin the show by asking you the question, where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
My teams are perfect. Hey, Sean.
Yeah, you're rolling. You're looking live, first place live to my right. Our split studios. This is Fantasy Baseball Now, episode 81, the Tim Brown Altoon edition. For our show, part of the ball9.com podcast network. Also, a little later, we'll get into the 2 start pitchers for next week. Teams to look for bringing some timely hitting in next week. But now we are in this week. What up, Mr. First Place?
It's all good. Paul Skeens Day, no hitter through 5. I guess the first start wasn't as bad as everybody wanted him to be when I was being offered Shane Mack for Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I love today. It's ace day. Mizorowski is going nuts in Boston.
Yeah, it's a huge number 1 starter day today. For those that are still available, which we will get to in a minute. And aside from following us on the ball9.com network, also our YouTube channel, our Facebook account, our X, formerly known, the application formerly known as Twitter, and smash the like button if you wouldn't mind. And we're in it now. But I will say, before we get into grinding the waiver wire, especially with the rash of pitcher injuries, and sadly, Cade Horton's out for the year.
That sucks.
This is what I heard through week 1.5. DFA O'Neal Cruz, because he can't catch a fly ball. O'Neal Cruz, of every draft pick I've made in every league that I made, right now, O'Neal Cruz is the best draft pick that I made. The Yankee bullpen is going to doom the Yankees. I heard that. Okay, maybe not. They'll probably fix that. The A's are going to set a new strikeout record.
The A's, who lead the Yankees 3-1 right now, by the way.
Tony Vitello should be fired. 3-8, you should get fired. It's his fault that Ralph Devers is hitting 178. Certainly, it must be his fault. The top of his lineup's hitting a collective under 200. So that's clearly a managerial problem.
Sure.
The Red Sox are done. And that one I kind of like. And Roman Anthony, Roman Anthony, who thinks that playing left field throwing is bocce related, not I don't know what the Christ. He's going to be at first base in a month. That dude can't throw.
Well, they were making all kinds of excuses for him on the game tonight on the broadcast. You know, he's got to get his legs underneath him and figure out how that works.
He's been throwing a baseball since he was 4.
Yeah, right.
And now he's throwing a baseball like he's 4. But he's still.
Since we're here and we're live, a little plea to the Miami Marlins: play Owen Casey against lefties, please. He is not starting for the 4th straight game tonight.
That's it. So that I want that. I'd like that to be part of the conversation about scouring the waiver wire.
Yes,
because. And we might as well dive right into it because, yes, Owen Casey platoon. Owen Casey's become Kerry Carpenter, right?
He's their best hitter.
Do you roster those guys? Bryson Stott's getting pinch hit for, and I thought Bryson Stott might break out this year, but he's getting pinch hit for against lefties after the 6th inning. So he's in basically a platoon. Like, he's going to start, but if they bring a tough lefty in the 6th inning when they're closer down, Edmundo Sosa's playing. So it's like it's one thing And maybe next week is a good time to do current status versus ADP.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like the egregious stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, Skeens and Crochet and Scooball aren't off to the like whirlwind starts that you'd like them to be, but they're still good. They're still not overdrafted. But there are guys that were grossly overdrafted and they're not playing. Juan Soto, that are a big problem. But let's get to the pitcher thing and scanning the waiver wire. And probably the Cubs the Cubs losing Horton and Boyd in a 2.5 day period. Probably
Yep.
that thought in your head.
It's, you know what? Look, the waiver wire is important this time of year for two reasons. You got guys that get off the hot starts. You don't know if it's going to last, but it just might. Or, like I say all the time, you might just catch lightning in a bottle and get a 3-week run and enjoy the ride. The other part about that waiver wire is take a look at guys who are getting cut. You might have impatient owners like me who start cutting guys that are going to turn it around. Hello,
Yeah.
Bellinger and Brandon Nimmo last May 9th when I just
Exactly like you.
lost my shit with those guys. That there's good value that impatient owners are going to cut the guys. I mean, I get alerts to my phone.
Trade me Bellinger again so he can have a huge year, and then you can regret trading him again. You should learn your lesson with a guy like him.
Yeah, good evening, Bob and the big man, by the way. But that's where I get alerts. I get notifications on my phone in all my leagues that offer it. CBS does. That when somebody picks up a guy and cuts somebody, I'm interested just as much who got cut than who got picked up because I know who the top guys are available.
Well, look, I mean, if you're the guys that get picked up, 90 times out of 100, they're already on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll get to some of those guys when we do our go get them. Like, we'll get to some of those guys. They're already on somebody's radar. It's like Alec Burleson was cut in our league. I was trying to find a way to squeeze him in. Like, he was in a Alec Burleson was in a draft queue for me, and the only reason I took Ramon Laureano is because of stolen bases. But Alec Burleson's off to a pretty good start on a team that's currently playing way better than their roster should show that it's playing. And maybe it's because of one guy that you have highlighted this week. And I'm turning my head because Skeens is 5 1/3 into a no-hitter because it's Paul Skeens Day. And I finally installed a television in my office, so when I'm quote unquote working, I can watch baseball for day games. But here's, I was thinking about this when you sent me the topic this morning. With all these pitcher injuries, Justin Verlander's hurt. I mean, Horton's out, Boyd's out. You're gonna stretch grab a pitcher who you would never have drafted in a million years.
Eduardo Rodriguez for me this week.
He
looked great in the World Baseball Classic, and he's off to a great start.
I think one of us on this platform mentioned that he looked great, and maybe he's a watch guy. I picked him up in my National League only. Picked him up in the Diamond Degenerates League. And I almost picked him up in our head-to-head league because he looked really good in his last start.
Yep.
And when he was healthy, before he got hurt, when he first got to Arizona, he was really good. He doesn't strike a ton of guys out, but he doesn't give up anything either. So and that's okay.
When I'm getting a fifth starter for my roster, I like to go 5 starters, 2 relievers, and a 7-man staff. My bench, on our 5-man bench, I want 1 hitter, 4 pitchers. For this reason, you got to have depth because guys.
You got to have depth because you got to have depth. You have to, but here's what I was thinking about. So in a holds league, this is easy, right? You go get, oh, I give up a hit and then got a double play. So in a holds league, these problems are easy. You go get bulk inning guys that are going to get you holds, that are going to get you points in head to head. Instead of getting a starter that's going to obliterate your lineup, instead of getting a starter that's going to obliterate your week for a week. I'm going to take
Jansen junk.
I'm going to take a flyer on Jansen junk, and you're going to get junk. Or maybe you get a good start, but likely you're going to get junk, right? Or you're grabbing a fourth or fifth starter up a team. And with innings limits also as a consideration, guys are going 4 1/3, 4 2/3, building up to 85 or 90 pitches. Like Painter last night's a great example. He threw the same number of pitches through 4 1/3 last night as he did in his first start. And he wasn't sharp. He was 50-50 balls and strikes. He wasn't as good, but they won that game and he wasn't around for it. So if you grab holds guys that are going to pitch 3 days a week and are going to give you 3 or 4 or even 5 innings, and you're going to get holds because of that in a head-to-head league this early in the season, that's a potential strategy in Roto as well, because you're still getting counting stats. Matt Strahm pitches every friggin' day for the Royals, literally every day. Morion for San Diego, literally every day that guy pitches. He's always on the mound. Lucas Weaver's pitching a ton, going to pitch a ton for the Mets. Like those guys, while you're waiting for guys to get off the injured list, hoping that they come off the injured list in a timely manner, it's not a terrible strategy to plug in to get counting stats when you need them, because for the most part, low whip, over 1 strikeout an inning, and they don't give up anything. They don't give up much. So to add 6 of those innings, which would account for 1 start, are you better off adding 6 of those innings at premium stat line, or 1 reach starter that goes out and gets lit on fire because his name is Taijuan Walker? He's on a great team. They're going to win a bunch of games. I'm going to pitch up Taijuan Walker, and then you pick him up, and you're like, why the fuck did I pick up this guy? Like, why? Why did I pick him up? Now there is a guy coming. There's a guy coming for you. He got called up today, and I can't remember to who. I was stunned that he was still an active player in Major League Baseball, and he got called up by, now I got to find it. There should be some kind of elevator music going on right now.
You want me to sing?
I'll find out. Oh yeah. No, we're trying to hold.
You don't want me to sing.
We're trying to hold.
While you're looking
that up, hold a little bit by the Blue Jays of all teams. The guy that stole more money, the greatest non-free agent signing in Yankee baseball history. The guy stole more money from the Washington Nationals than Steven Strasburg. Patrick Corbin is back in the big leagues.
Oh my God!
Exactly, and I'll guarantee it. He's 1% rostered right now. He'll have a half-ass decent start in his 1 start. He'll be 15 or 18% rostered next week because people know who Patrick Corbin is.
You're right.
Like, oh, I've heard of Patrick Corbin, and somebody go grab him, and then his next start, he'll give up 13 runs in an inning and a third. His whip will be 40, and they'll have no choice other than to leave him in there because their bullpen got crushed. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw Patrick Corbin's name today under player news. I'm like, you got to be kidding me with this guy. And he's getting paid American dollars on a Canadian exchange, so he's $1.25 to the dollar. He's as smart as Kirk Cousins, for God's sake.
He's doing all right. Kirk Cousins, backup for the Super Bowl champion.
I'm not so sure about that.
The other thing about it, go back to the waiver wire. It's hard to trade this time of year.
Oh,
teams have guys on their team they just drafted. They're not ready to pull the plug on some of these guys. Again, that's why the waiver wire, it's important all year, but this is when to do the work, is in April, because you might just find that guy that has that big year and you just ride him. And he keeps
Let me share a trade with you that happened today in the Diamond Degenerates League. Talk about people with itchy trigger fingers. Nick Kurtz and Jackson Merrill for Logan Gilbert and Rafael Devers.
Kurtz and Merrill. That's a really big trade.
That's a lot, right? Isn't that a lot? That is a panic. Like Logan Gilbert, it's something to watch with him. His velocity is definitely down.
Yeah.
And Devers is not great right now. Not great. And I watched that after I got the vomit out of my mouth from watching the national championship game. I watched the rest of the Phillies.
I finished third in one pool and won another one. Thank you, Michigan. Go Blue. Even
I want Alex Corbin to win another championship.
I have Kurtz and being an A's fan. I'm not gonna panic with him.
I mean,
he does have a 2-run double.
Like, let's not sugarcoat it. Kurtz is awful right now. Awful.
He's up to 172.
A lot of that lineup's not great either, but he's not going to finish it in 172.
No,
it's not. It's
and
not.
The bombs will come.
It's not going to happen. It's going to get hot in Sacramento, and balls going to start flying out of there. Rooker's ticked up a little bit. Soderson's probably the best hitter in their lineup right now. I mean, Langoliers isn't really hitting. Lawrence Butler had a day.
One day.
Jacob Wilson's sucks, to put it bluntly. We'll get to him later. But that seems like these panicky trades in week 2 make me crazy. Now, truth be told, I did trade Garrett Crochet and Aroldis Chapman because I woke up one day in a terrible rash from having Red Sox on my team, and I couldn't do it anymore. And then I traded him, and then the next day I didn't have that rash anymore. And Crochet's going to be fine, and Chapman's going to be fine, but Crochet's not great right now. Screwball's not striking guys out right now. Skeen's first start was an abysmal nightmare. It was awful. Couldn't have been worse. Yamamoto's been okay-ish. Christopher Sanchez of the top 5 has probably been the best of the 5. But like the best starter last week was Sandy Alcantara. He is
dealing
another 6,500 people in Miami. Just admit that baseball in South Florida, regular season baseball, doesn't work, please. And that's all I'm going to say about that before I go on this friggin' hour and 45-minute diatribe about why I think it's so bad down there. But every team in the other 31 teams missed the opportunity to trade for him. When they were trying to trade him because they were afraid that he wasn't all the way back, and now the price just went up. Now it's going to cost you nine prospects not on your 40-man roster that they don't have to pay shit for. He's been great. And another guy we're going to get to in a minute who I'm going to rub in the big man's face a little bit when we get there. I mean, there's pitchers that are off to great starts, and they're still, previous to this week, we're under 60% owned, and you don't want to overreact to one bad start, and you don't want to overreact to one good start, but 2 starts in a row, you want to react. you might want to react.
Yeah,
I
native.
was very high on McAble coming in. They piggybacked him. His first full start was lousy, and he was on my bench, and he'll stay there for a little bit because I can probably absorb it for a little bit, but it ain't going to be long. It's not going to be long that he'll be on my bench, and I'll be digging into, who's the real closer in Texas? Who's the real closer in Arizona? Are the A's ever going to get a save opportunity where they have a closer?
I don't think they have anybody for that spot, to be honest with you.
No, but they do have guys in a hold position that are great guys to pick up. Like
We'll
JT
find
Gunn,
out tonight.
JT
With
Gunn
them dominating in the Bronx, we'll find out tonight.
I mean, Morales just got sent down.
Yep.
Lopez isn't going to be far behind him. JT Gunn's going to be in the rotation.
Yeah,
somebody picked up Aaron Savali, and whoever that was, I couldn't stop laughing. I spit.
Yeah, no shit. He's pitching good tonight. But
he's the Kyle Gibson of the 2025.
Yeah, you don't want to have him.
I mean, Chris Bassett's awful right now. Chris Bassett's not going to be awful.
I cut Chris Bassett, and
but Chris Bassett should be cut because where you took him as a 6 or 7 starter, maybe even a 5, and if you're going to go 5-2, like those guys to me are always disposable. Like they're disposable pitchers.
I cut him after his -17 head-to-head points Sunday, which clinched your win over me. And I'm like, hey, you got to go.
I did. I sent him a thank you note.
I'll see you again, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
I put a Hershey's. I put a Hershey's Easter chocolate kiss in the thank you note and a red jelly bean.
Very good.
Thank you. Actually, I put a green in it. I put a green and a yellow jelly bean because I don't like those. So that's what I sent to it. Thanks. It should get there tomorrow.
Very good. Shall we?
Yeah, let's go to who's hot. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be pissed off about how good Drake Baldwin's doing all fucking year.
Not me.
And Ben Rice is unbelievable.
I don't believe in saving catchers, but I may rethink that in a few months. He's not going to keep this up. Ranked 5th in CBS at 318, 5 homers, 11 runs, 13 RBIs from the catcher position. Sign me up for that. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the season with him, and we'll see what happens next year when it comes time for keeper. But Drake Baldwin, we talked about him a lot this offseason. I knew going into our draft, if I wanted him, I had to grab him early because I knew you were lurking, and I got him 1 pick ahead of you.
You did.
Yeah, so far it has worked out. I can tell you I chugged a beer after I picked him. Once I got him, there you go. There's one guy.
That's when I sent to you, Bubba, get the tables, because that was when I was going to go off the top rope with the big elbow on you, the super fly. And then my guy, our show right before the draft, and the big man is like, give me somebody.
Yep.
And I mentioned Jose Soriano, and he said, is that the best you got? Yeah, it is the best I got. So
he's ranked number 1.
He's up to 89% owned off a 13 strikeout game last night. He's up to 89% owned in CBS and 7% started. Coming into in like Wednesday of last week, he was 61% owned on CBS.
That's crazy.
He's got a .65 whip. He's got a .45 ERA. 21 strikeouts in 20 innings, and he's 3-0 in his 3 starts. And there were, I will tell you, like in this crazy semi-toxic world of fantasy baseball that we're living in right now, there were like 3 of us that were all over him coming into the draft, and it was very, very quiet.
Yep.
It was very, very quiet on him, but I mean, he has been on a shit team. They still suck. I mean, they won a game 1-0 the other night because Joe Adell turned into friggin' Roberto Clemente. The three of the greatest catches I've ever seen by one player in one game. You got to be kidding me. But yeah, like he's hot as hell. And he's,
one of these guys, I think it was on CBS, talked about Soriano. Sometimes you see at the start of a year, people put just random predictions up there just to post something and get clicks. Whoever wrote the story made Soriano his pick to throw the first no-hitter of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Kevin Towers.
Was it?
Yeah. So it's Kevin Towers, me, and then I probably should give him a shout out because we spend a little more time conversing. We spend a little bit more time conversing. Andrew DeSiglia, like it was the three of us that were like hyping Jose Soriano, and nobody else was like, yeah. His splits are bad. His spin rate's low. His velo's like the fuck guy gets he gets people out, and that's why when you get one of the dangers of this world that we live in is that the eye test is the eye test, and the numbers are the numbers, and like telling me when somebody's hitting 130, they should be hitting 345. Only tells me that they're hitting 130. Right? Like Giancarlo Stanton literally dented the wall in Yankee Stadium on Sunday. Dented the wall on a 117 mile an hour single. It's a single. It's a single. If OPS is a stat in your league, he gave you minimal with that hit.
Yeah.
Right? He hit it so hard he couldn't get a double. The double would have been better if he would have hit it less hard. Like he hit a 114 mile an hour ground ball to short and he's out. Okay, he's out. Like, stop hitting it at people. Stop it. His spin rate's down on his slider. So last year was averaging 1.3 Ks per 9, and now he's averaging 1.2. Like, they're good or they're not. Like they're good or they're not, and you digging and waiting for these random stats to produce result is why you're not thinking about trading Pete Crow Armstrong right now if you have.
Yep.
Because now there's a little too much data on it's a little too much time. You take the first half out of PCA and it's not good. Last year's first half comes out of his numbers. He's a 791 OPS player, and that is not great. So who's cold? Oh, jeez. I don't know how his last name got deleted. Maybe he's like Prince.
That's what happens when you're ranked 535th right now. He's just No, look, the thing with Perdomo, he's owned in 99% of leagues, started in 84, and he's one of those guys that he was so good last year. I understand you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you're not going to cut him.
No.
Shortstop is very deep. You might be able to go get somebody and just sit him down until he gets it together if this continues another week or two. But he was so good last year. He was a top 20 player. Now 182, just 2 runs, homer, 3 RBIs, and a steal. Not with the kind of start you expected. You got to be patient with him because you got to find out is last year an aberration or not. And if you took him early, you're a believer. But you just got to be patient and find out if you're right or wrong.
And it's probably it's likely the same with Jacob Wilson. And I mean, I make fun of Jacob Wilson because he's a white Luis Suarez. But when you're hitting 237 with 2 runs and 3 RBIs,
yeah,
and batting average is your thing, I mean, he's still owned in 92% of the league, but he is only started in 55. And with both of these guys, the fortunate part of both of these guys is that shortstop is still a deep position. Because there's still guys floating around out there that are shortstop eligible. One of which we'll talk about in a second. And Xavier Edwards is still available in a lot of leagues. Like, you can afford to wait for him to find his stroke.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a bunch of strikeouts against the Blue Jays, and he hasn't struck out since. He had 5 strikeouts the first weekend, and he hasn't had a strikeout since. So, I mean, he's going to hit, but like, he's a guy you draft because he's going to give you some runs, some RBIs, minimal power, but the batting average stat is important, and it's going to give you a bump where you're carrying, you know, a Schwarber-ish guy that's going to hit 220 with a bunch of bombs and a few stolen bases. He's not doing any of that right now, so you can't cut him, because if he got cut in any league that I'm in right now, I'm picking him up in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
because the hit tool is too good, but you can't play him right now. And it's probably risky. It's probably risky with both of these guys that you probably should bench them both, and you might miss a week where they break out.
And that's the danger. You gotta, if you do that, and I'm not afraid to do that. I'm of the opinion that I'd rather have a guy bust out of his slump on my bench than say, okay, well, let's get him rolling. I'll get him in. I'll lose a week, than risk a really bad start continuing. You know, I don't usually do it in week 3 or 4 unless you're called Nate Eovaldi. But
you just hope that bust out's like Saturday.
Strapped to my bench.
You really do hope that bust out Saturday, Sunday, and not Monday.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they're player of the week. And you're like,
yeah, and I'm looking at Eovaldi tonight too.
Man, I should have had this guy active because look what happened.
Eovaldi tonight's got 2 innings, a hit, 3 strikeouts, 1 run, bottom of the second, Texas and Seattle. So
he'll be fine.
He'll be okay. He'll just work it out on my bench, and I'll get him in there because, quite frankly, I need him with a Cade Horton injury.
Yeah, that's a killer.
Yeah,
and then how many years have we been waiting for your guy?
Is it finally happening?
Boy, he looks great, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's only 23.
I know. That's the part that you forget. He's been up since he was 19.
He's owned in only 71% of CBS leagues. Started in 53 on a really bad team. 314 average, 8 runs, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, throwing a stolen base. It may finally be happening for Jordan Walker.
Could be. It very well could be. He looks different. His body language is different. They're not jerking him around. I mean, I think St. Louis knows where they are.
Yep.
And I did watch a little bit of the game on Sunday, and they were talking about that. Like, sometimes in a situation where you're a young team and you know you're building for something, all the pressure's off. You just get to play baseball. And then Otto Lopez, who's still he's up to 71%. I mean, he got off to a 351 start with a homer, 8 runs, 3 RBIs, and a couple of stolen bases. Only 55% started. He's second base and shortstop eligible. So he's middle infield eligible. He's second base eligible. And second base is not great.
No.
It's not great. It's not great. Marte's off to a iffy start. Chisholm's off to a poor start. So your top 2 are already off to a bad start. Keishel's tearing it up. Horner's doing fine. After that, it's a half-ass crapshoot at second base. And I mean, the Marlins can't get people out, but they do score some runs with that pesky young lineup. They do score some runs, and he's been productive for a while.
Skeens just gave up a homer, and they pulled him.
I saw that.
Up 2-1.
I can't wait for
the Marlins are interesting. If that pitching staff comes around, they're going to be Interesting group to watch.
Well, they were a little bit of a pain in the rear end last year, more than a little bit. Actually, they were more than a little bit. They were in the wild card hunt going into September. I mean, they've collected a pretty solid group of young players, and having Pete Fairbanks helps them a lot. I mean, they did have to throw him as an opener on Sunday so he could get out of Dodge to see his baby born.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's yeah, they're an interesting team. Like they're clearly not as good as the Braves, Phillies, and Mets, but they're good enough to cause problems for sure. And then already, I mean, it's week 2. It's week 2, and man, I got a lot going on. So I got a lot going on. The Shane Smith picture, that's how he's been pitching. He's been tossing underhand.
You know what? Look, the stats I had ready for him, he's not rosterable. Now, today, he came in 0-2, 4.67 inning. He's not pitching.
He can't get out of the third inning.
He can't. His ERA going into today was 19.29 with a 3.21 whip.
That's bad.
Today, look, he didn't give up any runs. He only gave up 1 hit, but in the 3 2/3 innings, he did strike out 8, but he walked 5. But it's the
he struck out 8, but he did pitch against the Orioles, and they strike out a.
It's the innings that bother me. That he doesn't, when he starts, he doesn't pitch. And I think people kind of fell in love with Shane Smith a little bit last year because he was the best of a really bad staff. And sometimes people will do that when they're trying to mine a team. It's all right, well, who's their best guy? Well, just because he's their best guy doesn't make him worth being on a roster.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, he doesn't pitch. I can call up his game log real quick. He's pitched, he's got 3 starts in this year, 3 2/3, 3 and 1 2/3. That's it.
That's not good.
No, that's 8 1/3 innings in 3 starts.
That's
and today's the first time the White Sox didn't give up double digits in runs in one of.
And Alcantara had a complete game. He had more innings than a start.
It's crazy. It's great. Yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. And then David Peterson, Jesus God Almighty, like he's 58% rostered and he's 24% started. And if you better be in a 40 pitcher league, or you're a huge Met fan and you just think he's better than he is. 197 whip, 4.66 ERA, he's less than a K an inning. The Giants can't hit their way out of a paper bag and they lit him up. He's just there's got to be somebody. Both of these guys, this goes back to how we open the show. Are you better off with 2 hold guys that are going to give you the same number of innings over the same period of time without an 18 and a 5 ERA and are probably 1-2, 1-3 an inning for strikeouts per inning? You're far better off. And if you're in a net win, if you're in head-to-head, losses kill you. And if you're in a net win roto league, you don't want losses.
Here's the other thing on Shane Smith. Going into, as of this morning, he was started in 38% of leagues.
Why? Who?
How is that possible?
Why?
Who else is on your team?
Did you already give up? If you're already you've given up. It's week 2. We got 1 million months left in this season. Like, what are you doing?
Who else is on your team that you're
David
playing
Peterson.
Smith over?
Are you choosing between David Peterson and Shane Smith? Is your pitching staff Blake Wheeler, Corbin Burns, Merrill Kelly, Cade Horton, Treya Savage? Jose Barrios, all these guys that are on IL, Garrett Cole, is that Rodon? That's my pitching staff. So I got to pitch these guys so they come back. Guess what? If you're doing that, when they come back, it ain't gonna matter. They're never gonna make it up ever, because all of them are going to be on innings limits when they come back. All of them, every single one of them. And by the time they get ramped up, these two have done so much damage to your team in the immediacy that you can't claw your way back. You just can't. Yeah. I mean, you can make up huge ground and whip an ERA in the first month. In the second month, it gets harder. And the climb becomes more and more uphill, far more and more uphill. And you can't make up wins. You get to, you're at 0 wins at the end of week 2 and the leader's at 7. You better hope you get 5 points out of that category.
Yeah, it's those are the stats, the saves, stolen bases. It's hard to chase them.
It's really hard because you give up so much chasing those two stats.
Yep.
You're giving up so much when you chase those stats. You give up saves, you don't give up whip and ERA so much, but you give up strikeouts. And I mean, we've had many conversations about that. And bottom line is both these guys out. Like, get them off your roster. Like, just do yourself a favor. I mean, we don't need the pharmaceutical company making more money on blood pressure medication. Get them off.
Yes.
They just don't need to be on your roster. Looking ahead, who would have ever thought in a billion years that our lineups that we would have chosen for next week would be the Pirates and the Guardians?
You know what? I enjoy watching the Pirates, and I was watching Mitch Keller pitch the other day, and I'm like, 2 starts. He's got 12 innings going, 6 innings a start. I'll take that for mid-April.
Yeah.
His ERA 1.5, whip 1.08. He's not going to be a strikeout machine, but he's going to keep you in games. He's got Washington and Tampa at home next week.
The Cubs are regretting not trading for him last year at the trade deadline, I bet, right now.
I would agree with that.
This minute. You want Mitch Keller or the shell of Lucas Giolito, who's pitching on some high school mound right now and trying to get ready to start. And I just like the matchup for the Guardians. I mean, St. Louis and Jose Ramirez is going to hit 180. That's not going to happen. And Baltimore gives up a lot of runs. I know they get Rodgers in one of those starts, but Kyle Bradish is not a Cy Young candidate right now. That's for.
I still can't figure out all that hype.
Well, he is. I mean, I watched a Pirate game. He was not good.
I couldn't figure out that hype in February and March, and I still can't.
And I've been on the Michael Burrows train since he was traded to the Astros, and Seattle still can't hit. They still can't hit. I mean, I thought Brandon Donovan would give him a jump. He's worse. Julio Rodriguez hasn't decided to start playing yet. Cal Raleigh's awful. And he's going to get a pile of strikeouts against the Orioles because everybody strikes out against him. The Orioles strike out a lot. So I like both our pitchers. I like both our offensive matchups. I like the stack in both. Offensively, I like the stack in both. And
the Bucks. I wanted to pick the Bucks to win that division, and they very well might. Right. I wanted to do it. I just couldn't override some of those other teams.
Pitching injuries to the Cubs are a problem, right?
Yeah, they're in trouble.
The Brewers. Someday, somehow, somebody's going to write a book about why they're as good as they are when you can't figure out why they're as good as they are, but they are.
True.
I mean, God, there were 3 teams leaving Sunday at 7-2, and they were one of them. I mean, the Yankees, the Dodgers. Okay, nobody. All right, that's not outlandish. and the Brewers. Like, I mean, but Pirates are hanging around. Great. I mean, the Marcell Ozuna signing has been a bust so far, but Lau and O'Hearn have jumped that lineup like they needed. Connor Griffin getting called up. That was crazy last Friday.
It was. I enjoyed watching that.
Crazy. And then he bangs a double in his first at bat. And there were 34,000 people there. So
I'm normally pissed when they throw us a vacation day at school. But when I heard the Pirates had an afternoon, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine.
They drew pretty well over the weekend. They drew a little under 75,000 for the weekend, which is a pretty, given the fact that people are still like insanely pissed off about Bob Nuttig. Like I'm planning a trip out there at some point, maybe to go see him play the Mutts. That would be fun for me. But yeah, there's no reason they're not going to hang around that. There's no reason. Reds are pesky-ish, right?
Yeah.
Pesky-ish. My 2-start pitcher coming into this week, who I regretted immediately when I announced him, Brandon Williamson, who got lit up like a Christmas tree while we were on air last week, went out last night and completely dominated Tampa.
Yeah.
Dominated. I'm like, well, maybe I was right. Maybe he just had a bad start. And Rhett Lauder's pitching really well for them. Chase Burns is great. Like, he's just been great. They still don't hit like you wish they would, but like that division's going to be a brawl all year. There's no doubt about it. So
I agree. I think the Cubs are the team in trouble now.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like it doesn't matter what their bullpen looks like. If you got when you lose 2/5 of your starting rotation and it's your best two guys.
Yeah. That's hard.
All of a sudden, I mean, Jamison Tyon's a good pitcher. He's their one now. And that is a problem.
I gave him a long look before I committed Eduardo Rodriguez, and I just couldn't do it. I looked at Rodriguez. I'm like, numbers don't lie. I'll take what he had. He had 2 great starts to get going. And again, the WBC, he was fantastic. So
today was ace. So today was ace day.
Yep.
Today was ace day. Yamamoto 5 1/3, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts. Mizorowski 5 1/3, 2 hits, 4 walks, 10 Ks, 3 runs. Crochet 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he didn't give up any runs until the 6th inning. He was cruising. We talked about Skeens. Gavin Williams 5 2/3, a hit, a run, 5 walks, which is a little troubling, and 8 Ks. Christopher Sanchez against a team that can't hit their way out of a telephone booth. Noah Cameron, your 2-star pitcher, 5 2/3, 6 hits, a walk, a run, 5 Ks.
Skubal's got 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts.
Well, he's taking guys out.
No runs. They're in a scoreless game in Minnesota.
Shocking anybody would be playing Minnesota and there'd be a scoreless game.
The other guy I got tonight that I'm a little jumpy about is Reynaldo Lopez. He's in my lineup.
Schlittler was 5 innings, 5 hits. He gave up 3 runs, which is a lot for him, but he did strike out 7 Athletics. Kurtz drove in 2 and Soderstrom drove in the other one. And Savelli, 5 innings, 2 hits, a run, 4 walks, and 6 Ks. The Yankees are walking a lot. I did see a number. There was an insane number of walks this past weekend, like a crazy number of walks. And I saw that on the app formerly known as Twitter, just shortly before JT Realmuto challenged a pitch last night, and he was right. And he's 5-0 in challenges as a catcher. And Ruben Amaro is on with Tom McCarthy. It's the worst announcing duo in Major League Baseball. And McCarthy goes, or Amaro goes, how long do you think it's going to be before they add these challenges into Gold Glove? And McCarthy goes, they already are.
Really?
Yeah, they're already considering catcher's challenges as part of Gold Glove. ABS. You know what you're finding out because from ABS? I haven't seen the. I don't know what the total. I haven't seen yet what the total ABS stats are for the season so far. I'm sure somebody's doing it. They have Baseball Savant's doing it. They have. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to do the totality of. Yeah, right now, 54% of the calls have been overturned.
Oh, there you go. The big man got it
today per Baseball Savant.
The big man got it right there on the comment. Good job.
But the ones that I think we talked about this last week, the ones that make me a little insane are the ones where like 0.2% of the balls in the strike zone.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux would have been a journeyman pitcher if there was ABS when he was pitching.
Yes.
He didn't throw a strike for 17 years. He didn't throw any strikes. Tom Glavine didn't throw any strikes. Those guys lived outside the strike zone their entire lives. And they expanded it because they were so close. Teams that are good at it would have made their lives miserable. But I like this. I do appreciate a little bit of the strategy in it. Yeah, it's quick, it's quicker than replay on a base.
Yeah.
I mean, a stolen base takes 15 minutes. The pitch takes 10 seconds, and the crowd's into it.
Oh, the crowd loves it.
The crowd loves it. So it has added an element to the game that gets crowd interaction, and it's probably better. I agree with that, Todd. It probably should be like full robot, and the strike zone's the strike zone, but the human element's part of baseball. I mean, players make errors, players make mistakes. Umpires are not immune to that as well. And if half the pitches are getting overturned, that still means they're. And if somebody parsed the real data, like the one that Realmuto was like, there was one, no, it wasn't Realmuto, it was Schwarber. Schwarber challenged a 3-0 pitch last night, and it was 2.2 inches high. Like, that's just a shit call. Like, that's a CB Buckner call.
Yeah.
That's just a bad call. That's a full miss. But most of them are super close. Pirates 4-1. Nico Gonzalez.
All right. Next week. Tuesday is next week the week we got to go early?
Nope. Tuesday. May 12th is the week we got to go.
May 12th. Okay.
That changed this weekend. May 12th.
All right. Okay.
So we're Tuesdays for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Next week we will anything topical, and we'll look at ADP versus actual where they are right now.
Yeah, I said it's you
Get
know
over the
it's not a season maker the first couple weeks, but it's thank you, big man. But hey, look, you can't win a league in April. You can lose one uh, real easy.
and based on the way you draft, you can lose one in March.
Yeah, no shit. All right. Well, on that note, but the
On that
A's
note.
are beating the Yankees 3-1. We'll see you
Yeah.
next week. I'm going to
Thanks
get
a lot.
off the air while the A's are still winning.
Good dig there. Good one.